So section 4 on the Radzin on Yom Kippur. I'm your host, Betzalel Edwards. So God himself has to bring an atonement because he made the moon smaller. Initially the sun and the moon were supposed to be the same size. God said to the moon, go and make yourself small. The moon is Malchut. The moon is sovereignty. So why does the moon have to make herself small? We said that someday it'll go back when the final redemption and the total revelation of godliness returns to the earth, that the sun and the moon will be wearing the same crown. What does it mean that God is bringing an atonement offering? Okay, that's a beautiful description. But let's get back to the Radzin. The Radziner, the author of Gershon, Chenoch of Radzin, Zecher Tzadik Levracha, may the memory of the righteous be for a blessing, continues. He says, and he explains the Midrash in the previous section 3. The wisdom teaching about the sun and the moon is explained as follows. The moon employed the mode of behavior that we call tkifus. Remember, our subject is this holy chutzpah, of one being synthesized and knowing that he is a vessel for God's desires and going forth and doing something contrary to what is an accepted norm. So, which again, it could be a good thing and it could also be a problematic. So the moon employed this mode of behavior called tkifus. She, the moon, had the audacity and brazenness to ask, how can two kings wear the same crown? The moon represents Malchus, sovereignty, kingship. And again, the Malchus, the Zohar's explanation of Malchus is something which doesn't bring anything about from herself. So when I, in my life, exhibit Malchus, I'm just a vessel. And I'm not doing it of my own. I'm just doing something based on how I am influenced by God. That's called Malchus. So the light of the sun is received by the moon. The moon is totally it doesn't emit light, as far as I know, as far as the astronomers have taught me, which is not much. But I believe it's clear that the moon is absorbing everything. When the moon is shining light, that's really a received light from the sun. So how does the moon have such the boldness of tkifus to go about and do something on her own? The moon knows that it was God's very desire in the creation to leave the creation unfinished and to leave it up to her to finish creation. That's why. It's all up to Malchus and the power of crowning God by her own volition or free choice. So also we can understand it better by saying we are the crown of creation. In other words, God is not revealed in the world. We have to do things called mitzvot, or what you have to reveal God into the world. We have our actions reveal God. We build a shul. We read the Torah. We put on tefillin. We do an act of kindness, and we say why? Because the Torah has commanded us. That's called revealing God in the world. Otherwise, God would not be revealed in the world. The world would just be nature, concealment. It's all up to Malchus and the power of crowning God by our own volition and free choice to reveal God in the world. So, Malchus, the moon, is filled with feeling, the intuition that God's plan is unfinished without her. Her ability to complete God's plan is only possible because she has a feeling of being separate from God. In other words, if Malchut were connected and God was revealed before Malchut is, that Malchut felt no separation between herself and God. In other words, we are Malchus. The people of Israel are Malchus, right? So if God was not concealed from us, we would not have any feeling that we have to do anything to complete creation. So the moon says, I am different from the sun, and I am far away from the sun. That is to say, after level upon level of concealment, she is so distant from the divine source that she feels like a totally separate entity. Consider an independent woman, empowered divorcee, free to will and free to choose. This strange part is not only that she doesn't realize that she is still married, It turns out this independent woman is actually still married. She didn't realize she's still married, but she doesn't see that her husband is really always with her. It's a very, very strange situation. She was walking around, I'm an empowered woman, I'm a divorced woman, but it's a delusion in a sense, because really, not only is she still married, but she doesn't see that her husband is always with her. She actually is the linchpin. Malchus is the linchpin, the force that holds the entire structure together. And the final redemption is described in this way by Jeremiah. It says, Jeremiah said in chapter 39, verse 21, God has created a new thing on the earth, a woman surrounding a man. This will be as a woman of valor, the crown of the head of her husband. Right? The woman is brought up and made, she is the crown on her husband's head, surrounding. Right? Then we will truly know how the highest crown is Keter. It is the crown of sovereignty. Keter Malchus. In other words, there's a union then of Malchus being raised up all the way to Keter, and they're joined together as one. Keter is the highest sphera, Malchus is the lowest. Keter crown is a total revelation of God, a total determinism, if you will, total divine ordination, and Malchus is the concealment of God, where we have the free choice simply because God is concealed. Okay, we will see how this person or place who is the lowest and farthest away from God is secretly just as high and connected as everyone else.